dress, to take pictures, to have attention on me. I didn't sign up to actually be a wife, or I didn't sign up to actually be a husband. So all right, you guys, good morning. Happy Friday. I'm gonna get straight into the video. So I was scrolling on Instagram last night and I ran across this young lady's video that really, it was deep and it really spoke to me, and it really causes you to question, ask yourself some things and really question yourself. And it kind of spoke to a conversation that I've had with myself over the last couple of years, and some things that I feel like I've come to terms with. And so in the video, she was basically saying that, a lot of people ask to be wives or be husbands, or ask God to send them a wife or send them a husband, but are you that yourself? So if I'm asking God for a husband, am I truly a wife while I'm asking for that? How many, single, or not single, I'm sorry, married women do you know that are basically single? Married women that don't have husbands. We all know men who approach us, and not everybody, but a lot of men who are in relationships or married walk around like they're the most single thing on the planet Earth. So how many women do you know who are married, or they may be wives but they don't have husbands? They're single mothers. They do a lot on their own. The men don't even so much as really provide the way that they're supposed to. And what really stuck out to me and resonated with me, rather, in her message is she said that a lot of people are asking God to send them a wife or to send them a husband, but your ministry may not be marriage. Your ministry may be to be single. And so I want to kind of have a conversation and get your guys' opinion on this conversation. I'm going to put the video in here at the very end so that you guys can watch it and get a full gist of what she was saying herself. But I don't know, it really spoke to me because I'm a hopeful, not a hopeless, a hopeful romantic. And when I'm dating or talking to a guy and he asks me, do I believe in marriage? Do I want to get married? My response is always, I would love to be a wife. Because I think there's a difference between just being married and walking down the aisle, or, signing those papers and taking on a last name, and actually being a wife. So my response is always, I would love to be a wife. And although I think I would be great at it, I think I would be an amazing, a really good wife. But I sometimes ask myself, am I ready? Even though I know I would be great at it, it's like, am I ready to be one right now? You know what I mean? So me being single and things of that nature, sometimes I feel like, okay, that's probably the reason I haven't met my Mr., whomever, because like I said, although I'll be great at it, I'm just not there yet where I may be fully prepared to be one. Sometimes I feel like there's still things that I have to accomplish in life on my own, maybe experiences that I need to go through, whatever the reason may be. I remember, though, I took a trip for my birthday a couple of years ago. I went to Belize, and this older lady, she was like in her, I want to say her 60s. And she was with her husband. They had gotten married. They had met. Her husband was slightly older than her, so she was like in her early 50s. He was like, her early 60s, and he was in his late 50s. And they had took a trip, and instead of going home, they decided to come to Belize. So me and my cousin were at the pool, and the entire time she's like staring at me, and I'm telling my cousin, like, why is this lady, like, why everywhere I go, like, her eyes are like on me. And so she ended up coming over, and she was just complimenting me, like, oh, you're just so beautiful, and something just, told me to come over to you. So we just ended up talking, and she was just kind of telling me about her life. And she was like, I don't know what prompted her to want to have this conversation with me, but she was like, and she just so happened to be from the Bay Area as well. She grew up I want to say she said in Stockton, but anyways, I don't know what prompted her to have this conversation with me, but she was telling me pretty much about her life and how to just, still have hope and don't give up on love and relationship and marriage. And it can come at any point in your life. Just because I think I was, I'm 33 now, so I was like 30, turning 31 at the time. And yeah, she was like, it doesn't have to happen in your 20s. It's okay to have fun and travel and build your career and do your own thing, because sometimes that's how it's meant to happen. She's like, I went to school, I finished college, I had an amazing career, I had friends, I traveled, I did everything that I wanted to do. And I used to think that, okay, everyone around me is getting married, having kids, things of that nature. It's never gonna happen for me. And now she's in her early 60s and she's retired. Her husband, he still was working, and he completely, took care of her from that point on. And so basically it was just a reminder that we as humans sometimes put a timeline on things. And like I said, I'm a hopeful romantic, so I believe that at some point in life it can happen, and when it does, it'll be the right timing, and God will know, like, okay, yeah, this is your husband. I don't believe I'm one of those people that if I get married, I'm going to get divorced and get married multiple times. I don't believe I'm one of those people that if I have a kid, I'm going to choose the wrong guy. Like, even if we don't work out, we're going to be like great co-parents. I don't know. I just feel like God got me in the timing of everything. If it is meant to happen for me, will be the right timing and when it's supposed to happen. But what resonated with me, like I said, with what she said, as far as is being married your ministry, I've had these conversations recently, and with myself first, and then when I have this conversation with others, I'm like, I've come to the conclusion, and I'm okay with that. I believe everyone does have a soulmate, and your soulmate doesn't have to be a significant other. Your soulmate can be a friendship. You can find your soulmate in like maybe a really close family member or something of that nature. I don't think I found whoever mine is supposed, and I was about to say that I don't think I found whoever mine is supposed to be, but sometimes your soulmate doesn't stick with you for your entire life. Sometimes you find them later in life. Sometimes you find your soulmate sooner in life, and then you learn whatever you're supposed to learn from that person, and you part ways physically here on this earth. But I do believe that a lot of people experience this lifetime and don't find a soulmate in anyone at all. Though I believe we all have them, I feel like I may not meet my soulmate in this life. It's a possibility. I may not meet my soulmate in this lifetime. I may not meet my soulmate until, another lifetime or another realm or dimension, wherever we go after this. We may be trying to find one another, but it may not work out to where we find one another in this lifetime. And, I just told myself, if that happens, I'm okay with that, right? So I have to fulfill my life for myself in other ways, and just in case that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to wait to see if my husband is going to come around to take care of me and have a successful life. I'm still going to be successful and travel and do all the things I want to do and have good relationships, whether they're meant to last or they're just for a period in time. I'm going to, accept them for that period in time and enjoy them until it's not meant for me to enjoy them any longer. So, yeah, that's a conversation I had with myself, and I've come to that conclusion. And that's what I tell people now. Like, I think I would be a good wife. I would love to be a good wife, but I may not find my soulmate in this lifetime. And if you don't, that is okay. You know what I mean? But I do pose a question when she said singleness may be your ministry. I want to ask you guys, like, what does that mean to you? Because I'm still trying to figure out when she said it. When she said it, it kind of hit me like, oh, this kind of resonates with something that I've kind of come to the conclusion already. It may be meant for me, but what exactly does that mean, your ministry being for you to be single? What does that look like? Or does it differ per person? Like, I want to ask you guys, what does that mean? Because I'm kind of still trying to figure it out. And when she said that, it was just something that was really deep to me, and it definitely is causing me to think. Yeah, it's like, are you meant to maybe give back to the world in different ways? Are you meant to just be the best auntie? Are you meant to just live life alone? And by live life alone, that doesn't mean that you're not gonna date or ever go out with, the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever it is you're into. Like, you're never going to deal with another human being. But it's just like, what does that look like? What does that truly mean? Because when you think about your ministry being to be a wife, if that's what you're called to be, right? It's to follow the lead of your husband, to offer comfort and peace and hold down the household and be his backbone. But what does your ministry in being single look like? Does that just mean whatever the fuck, like, do whatever you want in life? Like, what does that truly mean? I truly want to get y'all an opinion, and I don't want to ramble on this. So I don't know, I just want to really get your guys' opinion. Like I said, I'm gonna post the video at the end of me speaking, and I really want to have a conversation about this, and I want to know what you think your ministry or your calling in life is in regards to if you're meant to be a husband or a wife, or if you feel like you're meant to be, single, and why. I always felt like at some point I will become really financially successful, and that doesn't mean rich and have millions of dollars, because that's not my goal. My goal is to be financially stable, and if I do have kids, to definitely create generational wealth. But I always felt like that when I get to that point, I'm supposed to give back. And specifically, I feel like I'm supposed to give back, and I want to visit like a lot of group homes and things of that nature with children, and I want to give back financially. I want to be able to offer them the counseling and the therapy that they need. Like, I really want to dive deep with children and helping them, and in a sense, I guess it is kind of like helping the world, because, not to be corny or cliche, but children really are like the future, you know what I mean? And I just feel like too often people go through things in life and they're not offered the proper help or assistance that they are needed, or any help or assistance at all. And people just go through a lot of all types of struggles and abuse, and they don't get help, and then we later judge them for who the world or who people who abuse them force them to become. And so, yeah, I just want to help children and young teenage adults and offer them, you know, hope and love and shelter and clothing and therapy and reassurance and whatever else it is that they may need to just become better people in the world for the future, and try to give them opportunities and just things and like a childhood that they deserve to have from the beginning, that unfortunately we don't live in a perfect world, so they didn't. So I said, not to say that I can't do that and be a wife, you know, but it just made me wonder if maybe me always feeling like that would eventually become my calling, if maybe that's why I don't, you know, have a husband right now, because I'm still trying to, you know, just financially get to that point, and I'm chasing careers right now, and, you know, just trying to get everything that I want to accomplish for myself together so that I can do that. Also, I think, you know, environment plays a part in all of that, but that's a whole nother conversation for another time. I hope this video wasn't like all over the place, but I hope I was able to really convey what it is that I was trying to say. But please definitely leave a comment and let me know what you think, because I'm still pondering upon the video. And I'm definitely going to go back and watch it to try to gain better clarity and get my thoughts together on, you know, what it made me feel and think about. And if I think of anything else to say, I'll come back and add it to this video. But yes, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to comment below, because I definitely want to have a discussion in regards to this video. I think it's something very deep, and I think it's something that we don't think about and consider too often. A lot of people want to get married because they want to feel like they got one up on another woman, or they just want the glitz and the glam of it, to say, oh, I'm married, I have a ring, I have a husband, I have his last name, and they want the wedding and the reception and the wedding dress and the attention that comes with, just like some people who have kids, they want the baby shower and the attention, but they don't really want to be a parent. They shouldn't really be. They don't really want to be a mom or a dad, or they don't really want to take on the responsibility of what it takes to actually pour into and raise a child. I feel like some people are the same way with marriage. They want the dress. They want to gloat and to say that, you know, they were chosen, they got married, and walk down the aisle and have all the attention and the party and the drinks and the food and the honeymoon. And then once that phases out and it's like it's really time for you to take on that role, it's like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. Okay, I signed up to have a wedding, to get a beautiful dress, to take pictures, to have attention on me. I didn't sign up to actually be a wife, or I didn't sign up to actually be a husband. So yeah, let's have a discussion down below. And if you guys like this, let me know if you want me to do more videos on just different, you know, topics that we can truly have discussions about. Bye.
How many married women do you know that have no husband? Meaning that they are married women, they are wives, but they are single mothers, and they are pretty much single women. How many married men you know that are not husbands? Meaning they have wives, but you would never know they have wives because they be acting the most single, or they have children, but their women are functioning as single women because though they ask that woman to be their wife, they never assume the position of being what a husband is. And before you ask God for a husband or for a wife, ask yourself, are you a husband? Are you a wife? Do you actually understand what it means to enter into a covenant like marriage? Because so many people think getting married is about filling in your empty spaces, letting someone complete you, romance, butterflies, flowers, bouquets, happy days, happily ever afters. No. Do you know what happens at altars? Sacrifice. And you know what a sacrifice is? dying to yourself. Did you know that in marriage, two become one flesh? Meaning when you become one with that man, you join with him and you need to submit to him. Allow him to be your head. And any man that you marry, he becomes your head. And if his head is not in Christ, your head won't be in Christ, because now that man is your husband and the two have become one flesh. Before you ask God to get you a husband or to make you a wife, ask yourself, are you ready for the responsibility of that covenant? Because it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Marriage is meant to reflect the kingdom. Marriage is a covenant. You want to get married because you think it's going to give you security or safety. It's actually going to reveal your insecurities and your lack of safety. You think it's going to fill in your voids. It's actually going to reveal how broken and how empty you actually are. I'm saying all this to say, stop coveting something that you don't fully understand. Instead, ask God, reveal to me if marriage is my ministry. Reveal to me if I'm called to be a wife, if I'm called to be a husband. Because it's not all about romance. It's not all about giddy feelings. It's about doing God's will in the earth. Ask God, is this a ministry you called me to? Because some of y'all been called to the ministry of singleness, and yet you're begging to be a wife. You're begging to get a wife. But are you a husband?